God, I love this intro theme. This theme is so good. And this is coming from someone who didn't even grow up with the original version. But that's enough about that. Hey guys, time to chill out with Sub-07 and welcome to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D. This is the 3DS version of the iconic Ocarina of Time for the N64, recreated in 2011 by the lovely Grezzo Entertainment, who would later do the same thing for Majora's Mask and then make the, well, I like it, but didn't really get any sales, Ever Oasis. This is actually one of the first Zelda games I ever owned, and the first one I finished. My family owned a couple Zeldas growing up, but this was the first for me. And I think it has a lot of value to me. I know a lot of people make the joke of Ocarina of Time's an overrated piece of shit, but I disagree. And I think the 3DS remake, even then, does a lot to address the things that weren't that great about Ocarina of Time originally. Let's get started. First thing to note, Ocarina of Time is special in the 3DS version in that there's actually two sides to it. Okay, no you don't. You should not be doing that. Let's switch real fast our feed because we got two sides of the story to show. Check out this sweet new 3DS capture card we got. Now, if you have beaten Ocarina of Time 3D on the 3DS, you actually unlock Master Mode. This was an additional feature added to later releases of Ocarina of Time, like the Zelda Collector's Edition for the GameCube. This was not part of the original game, and I'm not going to be playing it because it's basically the same game again, but with new dungeons and a flipped overworld. Let's get started. Alright, I'm unfortunately going to have to delete one of these files, so I think we're going to delete my practice file. Actually, no, we'll delete this one. There's a lot to this game because Zelda games tend to be pretty content-filled, I would say, so let's have some fun. Alright, we're not Link for this adventure, though. I think that's a bit boring. I'll do that for practice, but I think for this, it's only fitting. That's us, Sub-07. Let's rock. Yes, it is. Let us begin. Wait a minute. Is that... What is that date? That date is not accurate at all. I guess I never did adjust the clock on my 3DS. Oops. Actually, yeah, I never did, because yeah. Oops, I really gotta adjust the clock on this thing. In the vast deep forest of Hyrule, long as I served the guardian spirit, I am known as the Deku Tree. The children of the forest, the Kokiri, live here with me. Each Kokiri has his or her guardian fairy. However, there was one boy who does not have a fairy. Fucking kid. Thinks he's good not having a fairy. I'll teach him. I'll give him some nightmares so he wants a fairy. Navi. Navi, where art thou? Come hither. Oh, Navi the fairy, listen to my words. The words of the great Deku Tree. Dost thou sense it? The climate of evil descending upon this realm. And no, I'm not talking about climate change, though we're really gonna need to do something about that. Malevolent forces even now are mustering to attack our land of Hyrule. For so long, the Kokiri Forest, the source of life, has stood as a barrier, deterring outsiders and maintaining the order of this world. But, before this tremendous evil, even my power is as nothing. It seems the time has come for the boy without a fairy to begin his journey. The youth whose destiny it is to lead Hyrule to the path of justice and truth. Navi, go now, find our young friend and guide him to me. I do not have much time left. Fly, Navi. Fly, you fool! The fate of the forest, nay, the world, depends upon thee. Don't stop to chat with people, Navi. We got a world to save. Oh god, for goodness sake, Navi. What kind of fairy can't even fly through a simple gap? Come on. Hello, Sub-07. Wake up! The Great Decker Tree wants to talk to you. Get up! You might have tried to sleep. Hey, come on! Can't Hyrule's destiny really depend on such a lazy boy? Yeah, that is definitely me in the morning. You finally woke up. I'm Navi, the fairy. The Great Decker Tree asked me to be your partner from now on. Nice to meet you. The Great Decker Tree has summoned you, so let's get going. Right now! Alright, time to start things off. First things first, was the first 3D Zelda for the series. We got movement to figure out, and some things based on the bottom screen that I'll be explaining as we go. Movement is pretty simple. Move with the circle pad. If this was the N64 version, it'd be the control stick. Let's get outside. Welcome to Kokiri Forest. Yahoo! Hi, Sub-Zero! Let's drop down. We can press A to drop down immediately, which is quite nice, and let's chat. Hold L, lock on, and press A to talk. Wow, a fairy! Finally, a fairy came to you! Wow, that's great news. I'm so happy for you. Now you're a true Kokiri. Is that right? The Great Deku Tree has summoned you. It's quite an honor to talk to the Great Deku Tree. I'll wait for you here. Get going. Go see the Great Deku Tree. So yeah, there's a lot to Kokiri Forest and a lot that I gotta explain real fast, but we'll get to that as we go. L, this was a first for the major series because this was 3D. L is for targeting and for aiming the camera because L targeting. That was just kind of the major focus for Ocarina of Time was that. We can pick up and throw things. We can dodge roll by just pressing A because we don't have any means to actually attack, so we're just throwing ourselves up the wall. I guess that makes sense. Oh man, Jesus, Navi, you're already here to talk? Okay, fine, we'll do this. This is the bottom screen layout of the game. This is new to this because the 3DS version, you know, two screens gotta work with that. Tap the bottom where Navi is. The Great Decker Tree has summoned you. Please come with me. And they'll tell you where you're supposed to go in terms of the plot. Well, we got a bunch of other things here. We got gear, we got map, we got items. Items is pretty empty right now. Don't worry about that. Map, also pretty empty. That's fine. And gear. Kokiri Tunic. A humble but comfortable green garment. Everyone in the Kokiri Forest wears one. Because we all conform. Just ahead, Great Deku Tree's meadow. Let's head over. Oh, but fortunately, we got someone blocking the way. Hey, you! Mr. No Fairy! What's your business with a Great Deku Tree? Without a fairy, you're not even a real man. What? You've got a fairy? Say what? The Great Deku Tree actually summoned you? What? Why would he summon you and not the Great Mido? This isn't funny. I don't believe it. You're not even fully equipped yet. How do you think you're gonna help the Great Deku Tree without both a sword and shield ready? What? You're right. I don't have my equipment ready, but, shut up. If you want to pass through here, you should at least equip a sword and shield. Sheesh. Now, you could listen to him, but in the old version, you could actually, if I'm very specific, dodge roll using L targeting to get behind him. This actually works if you're crafty about it. I'm not good at this, so you're not gonna be seeing speedrun tech for this. So for now, we gotta go find a sword and shield to satisfy this dingus. Stupid Mido. Hi! Look this way. Look up here with L and talk to me with A. So this is the advantage of L targeting. It lets you focus on targets that are not directly in front of you. Yes, that's how you use a fairy. It's so great that you finally have a fairy partner. I'll teach you how to talk to people using your fairy. When a fairy flies near a person or thing, press L to look in that direction. If you use L targeting, you can talk to people from a distance, like we're doing now. When you have nothing that you can target, you can press L just to look forward. Try it. This is essentially the easier way to recenter the camera behind you, like how Mario 64 had a camera stick, or the C stick, the C buttons I should say, rather than just a designated button to get the camera behind you. Well, I guess they kind of had that, but it wasn't that useful. For now, we gotta find a sword and shield if we want to satisfy Mido to go actually see him. Let's head inside here, the Kokiri shop. Let's change that layout back. Welcome. We sell shields, but not swords. Well, that's a problem. We got some Deku Seeds, arrows, hearts. We're gonna be getting into most of these later. Deku Nuts. Shield, we need 40 rupees for. We don't have any because we're broke. Let's fix that. The shop. It sells things you can get in the forest for free. Do you know how to use the Deku Shield? Teehee. When you get the shield, tap... to get into the gear subscreen. On the gear subscreen, tap the shield to equip it. You can also select it with the circle pad and press A to equip it. Hold up R and change its angle with the control stick to use it. Yeah, it's a pretty basic shield, but we'll get into that when we get to that. For now, though, we gotta get money. So naturally, we do the age-old Zelda tradition, throwing things. And or jumping across water. Kokiri Forest is kind of a playground in the sense of it's a good place for you to practice getting a feel for the game and picking up all the rupees you need to get the shield. Oh, you have a fairy now? That's great! What? You've been called by the Great Deku Tree? What an honor! He may give you a special gift! That's because the Great Deku Tree is our father, the Forest Guardian, and he gave life to all us Kokiri. So the Great Deku Tree is the father of Kokiri? Well, I guess that makes sense. You could have made a tree be your mother. I guess that makes sense in some context. Blue rupee over here. Rupees are your currency for this game. Green rupees are worth 1. Blue rupees are worth 5. And there are other colors that we're getting into later. I believe now we can head up this way, though. This is actually something over here. We don't want to head this way just yet, because this is the way to the Lost Woods. We'll be coming back to this another point, but we're not quite ready for this currently. We'll be back, though. I always come back. For now, we need 40 bucks, and, well, we're doing decently so far. We got 12. Can fall from great heights. If you fall from too high, you will actually hurt yourself, so be careful. But if you're crafty about it and you fall in the water or you dodge roll, you can avoid taking damage, which is nice. We unfortunately can't apparently pick up bushes. Lame. But we can pick up rocks and throw them, which potentially can give us money. Head up here and climb up this. And we can wind up crossing this gap over here to get another blue rupee. It's a good practice for tighter platforming because, hey, this was one of the first N64 3D games. You really gotta be careful about that. You came all the way up here? You're a real man. Look, isn't this view pretty? Change your viewpoint with the eye so you can look around the forest with a circle pad. Yeah, so when you're not doing anything, you can go into first person and get a good look at your surroundings. It's quite nice. And you do have access to 3DS gyroscope controls as well. Something that you couldn't really do in the original, but it's quite nice, I think. Like, I'm really happy with the 3DS version of the game. I've played the original N64 version a couple times, but I will always take this version. Best place to learn is to get some new skills is the Forest Training Center. It's on the hill just above here. Well, that could be useful then. A little fenced off area for safety here, and we got some signs. Thrust attack. I don't have a sword, so that's not really helpful for us. What do you got, bud? Hey, let's work some moves. Jump sideways with L targeting. Press A as you move left or right. Do a backflip while pressing backwards while L targeting. And you can roll attack while L targeting and moving forward. If you have sword ready while L targeting, you can do a jump attack. Jump attack does double damage. You can use L targeting on the stone next to me, so let's practice. Well, we might as well. Yes, you can side hop or strafe. Quite nice for movement when you're dealing with enemies. Backflip, which you won't be using too often, and you can dodge roll. But for now, we actually want to get over here. The whole of L. P. You actually don't need to use L at all. You can just run up against the wall and press A to enter. Since we're a small guy, we can fit through small crevices like this, and we can easily get through to the other side. And hear the sounds of... Is that waterfall or is that a rock? Viewpoint without targeting. When you have no object to look at, you can just hold forward. Yep. We've already been over this. More $5. Hell yeah. Oh god, rock. Yeah, there are some ways that L targeting is useful, because it lets you see around corners that you otherwise might not be able to see past. That's not important. What is important is treasure! Press A to open it. You got the Kokiri sword. Tap on the lower screen to open the gear subscreen, and then tap the weapon to equip it. This is a hidden treasure with Kokiri, but you can borrow it for a while. Be sure to practice with it before you really fight. So yes, that's our first sword. Let's go into gear, and we can actually see it's up in the top row. Tap it with the touch screen, or just press A to select it as they mentioned. And now it's equipped on our backs. I don't know where that rock went. I'm gonna act like I didn't see it and just run away. Let's head back out. For now, though, I think the Kokiri sword is actually a pretty decent enough weapon, and as they mentioned, there are some good tricks for this thing. Specifically, pull it out with B, and hold forward while pressing A to do a jump attack. This is super powerful. Select target. Yep. Now, they mentioned that you can actually switch targets, which is kind of nice. You rapidly press L to cycle between targets, which is kind of nice. This is not something I really use too often, but it is a useful feature if you need to focus on a specific enemy and you're already on a different one. Cut grass with your sword. Yep, that's what you can do. That's a staple of the Zelda series. And thrust attack. Walking forward, or like when you're close to a target, press B. Oh, cut the sign down. Yeah, when you're like right up against the target and you press B, you'll just do a thrust attack, which can be useful. So for now, we're sitting at 30 rupees. We need 10 more. Oh. Well, there's 31. Like, there's just a bunch of spots we can get rupees from. You can throw rocks, you can cut grass. You're basically doing chores. But hey, they're chores that are teaching you about the game, so I can forgive it for this game. Yes, trading center. There's a couple spots that I'm looking for because they do give a lot of good cash. Come on. Yeah, man. There's a couple of spots around here. Let's see if we can get up here. Because I believe what I'm looking for is over here. Yes. House of the Twins. That's not exactly what I'm looking for. Cut this grass here. Saria's house. That's Saria is the green-haired girl that we met at the start. She's actually basically our next-door neighbor because this is our house. One thing I did forget to mention, though, is this thing. I don't remember if this was in the original N64 version. I don't believe it is. This is a Sheikah Stone. These things are called Sheikah Stones, aren't they? The Great Deku Tree said they help people who are lost or troubled to find their way again. If there's ever anything you need to know, you should try asking one for help. These things are essentially your hint guide for the game in case you get lost. Kind of a neat feature because some things, if you're not familiar with how old N64 games work, can be a little confusing. I'm not saying it's something that I need, it's something that my mom needed. Shout out to my mom, she's great. Also, she actually has finished Ocarina of Time, so I can say that. Alright, we can climb up here and get some recovery hearts. These will actually heal a heart, but we don't really have any worry about that right now because, you know, we're full on health. Let's head inside the twins' house. Got some pots. Another staple of Zelda series is breaking into people's houses and destroying their pots, because that'll also get us money. There we go. 37, we're close. My sister took some rupees and went shopping on that store with the red roop. Speaking of rupees, a green one is worth 1, a blue is worth 5, and a red one is worth 20. We haven't seen red yet. Hopefully we'll see that soon. We are so close. We literally just need 3 rupees. Where the heck are these last few? I guess I could go... Actually, is that right over here? I think it is. House of the Great Mito, boss of the Kokiri. Yes, it is. Let's go raid his house. Because he's not out and about. He can't stop us. He's got 4 chests here. You can just kick them open because they're small chests. $5. $1. Recovery heart. Neat. And $5. Yep, that's plenty. We can go buy that shield now. You'll also note, I'm doing a lot of dodge rolling because this actually is slightly faster than just normal running, so keep that in mind. If you're the type of person who's super impatient, me, this will be a very effective method for travel. But there is one slightly faster method that's really stupid looking that we'll get to later. Alright, let's buy that shield. Deku Shield. Switch to your gear subscreen and tap the shield to equip it. R to crouch and defend. If you press R while L targeting, you can move while defending. No, I'm good. I don't need to buy anything else. There is other stuff for sale, but we kind of don't need it. Like, don't worry about it at all. For now, though, let's equip that shield. Alright, now it's on our back, and it mentioned it's a child-sized wooden shield. It's light, but it's also flammable. If you deal with fire hazards, this thing will catch on fire and you won't be able to use it, so be careful. Now let's go show Mito who's boss. It's me. If you want to see the Great Deku Tree, you should at least equip a sword and a shield. Eh? What's that? Oh, you have a Deku Shield. And what's that? Is that the Kokiri sword? Good grief. Well, even with all that stuff, a wimp is still a wimp, huh? I, the Great Mito, will never accept you as one of us. Shoot. How'd you get to be the favorite of Saria and the Great Deku Tree, huh? He just runs away like a loser. Alright, we finally have access over here. And we have access to the path of the Great Deku Tree. And our first enemies! Navi can give you information on every enemy that you L-target. This is a Deku Baba. Though it looks withered, it will hurt you if you touch it. So you just cut it down. And as payment, you take his neck and use it as a weapon. You get Deku Sticks. Tap on the lower screen to open the item subscreen. Then set it to I, X, Y, or I. I know it's 1 and 2, but it's funny to call it I. You can only carry a certain amount, so don't waste them. We'll see about that. Yeah, these things are basically a joke, because all they do is just kind of spin around. They can't even really attack you, so you can just kind of deal with them. Easy enough enemies to get things started. Let's go say hello. Great Deku Tree, I'm back! Oh, Navi, thou hast returned. Sub-Zero 7, welcome. Listen carefully to what I, the Deku Tree, am about to tell thee. Thy slumber these past moons must have been restless and full of nightmares. As the servants of evil gain strength, a vile climate pervades the land and causes the nightmares to those sensitive to it. Verily, thou hast felt it. Sub, that time has come to test thy courage. I have been cursed. I need thee to break the curse with thy wisdom and courage. Dost thou have the courage enough to undertake this task? No. Perhaps thou dost not yet have confidence in thy abilities. Return to the Kokiri Forest to learn the skills of combat. When thou art ready, return here and speak to me using L. So yeah, you can just say no, and he'll leave you alone until you get good at the game. For now, we can actually head right behind him and kill some more Deku Babas. I don't think this is a necessary thing, but it is funny to me. For now, let's do that again. I have been cursed. Oh, good you came back. Please tell me you have the courage this time. Then enter, brave Sub. And thou too, Navi. And try not to fall into my stomach acid, that's very dangerous. Navi the Fairy, thou must aid Sub-Zero 7. And Sub-Zero 7, what Navi speaks, does listen well to her words of wisdom. Inside is the beginning of our real adventure. It's the first dungeon, which I think we'll actually be saving for next time. Next time, let's play The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D. We'll be entering the first dungeon of the game, the Great Deku Tree's interior. Till next time, ice out.